The Xyrdon Empire had ruled the stars for thousands of years. Their flag hung over 200 worlds, and their armies were feared by every race that lived under their shadow. Even the bravest captains avoided the dark place at the edge of their territory. The Forbidden Zone. It was a silent region of space. No ship entered. No ship returned. The Empire guarded it with heavy fleets, deadly mines, and ancient machines that watched every star that moved. To the people of the Empire, this region was more than forbidden. It was untouched, sacred, and dangerous. So when a lonely signal blinked on the border sensors, every officer froze. "Unknown ship detected," the scanner officer whispered. His voice trembled as the screen glowed an angry red. "Coordinates, inside the Forbidden Zone border." His commander turned quickly. "Identify the ship." The officer swallowed hard. Trying. The screen flickered. "Sir, it is human." Silence spread through the control room. "A human ship? Here? In the most controlled space in the entire Empire? Impossible." Humans were known as builders, traders, polite diplomats. They were peaceful, quiet, and never caused trouble. Their ships were small, their fleets weak, and their borders far away from Xyrdon space. So how could one be here? "How far inside the border?" the commander asked. The officer checked again, sweat on his hands. "Sir, the ship has crossed almost 20 light minutes inside. It is moving straight toward the central zone." The commander took a step back. This was no accident, no lost ship, no drifting explorer. This human vessel had entered the Empire's most restricted space with purpose. "Send a message," the commander ordered. "Warn them. They must turn around at once." His officers sent the signal. They waited. The screen showed nothing. "No reply," the officer said. "Send again." They sent it again. Still no reply. The unknown human ship continued forward. Slow, steady, fearless. Word spread quickly across the Empire. Within an hour, every major news broadcast, military base, and royal hall knew about the intruder. Fear swept across the stars like a silent wave. A single human ship had walked into the gate of a sleeping giant. At the Imperial Military Tower, alarms rang. A meeting was called. Commanders shouted, argued, and pointed fingers. "Humans cannot do this. Maybe it is a test. Maybe it is an accident. No human ship is this brave." But one old commander stood quietly, watching the hologram of the ship. "Bravery is not the question," he murmured. "We must ask what kind of ship this is." Because something was wrong. The sensor readings from the unknown vessel made no sense. Energy levels far beyond any human design. Shields too strong. Systems too advanced. Nothing matched the technology the Empire believed humans had. As the Empire struggled to understand, the ship moved deeper. Finally, the Emperor gave the order. "Send the first intercept fleet." 12 fast warships launched from their posts, racing through the darkness. They formed a circle around the human vessel, blocking its path. Inside each ship, soldiers loaded weapons and braced themselves. "Open a channel," the lead captain ordered. A message filled the space. "Unidentified human vessel. This is Imperial Fleet Command. You are in forbidden territory. Stop engines at once. Prepare to be boarded." Still no reply. "Try again." Nothing. Human ship silent. Empire fleet nervous. Finally, the lead captain grew angry. "Lock weapons," he ordered. "If they do not answer, we will disable them." Before they could fire, the human ship moved. No sound. No warning. Just a soft pulse of blue light across its hull. And then, every Empire ship went dark. Screens shut off. Engines stopped. Weapons died. It was as if the human ship had pressed a button and erased all power. Inside the Empire ships, crew members panicked. "What happened? I've lost controls. Nothing is working." The lead captain tried everything. Nothing responded. It was as if his ship had become a lifeless stone floating in space. Then, through the darkness, his screen flickered to life. A single message appeared. Only one voice. Clear. Human. Do not fear, unless you choose war. The message echoed in the silent ships. The Empire soldiers looked at one another with horror. The humans were supposed to be weak, peaceful, slow. But this voice carried power, confidence, absolute control. The message continued. I will not harm you, but I will pass through. Do not stand in my way. The captain stared at the frozen controls, unable to move, unable to fight. The human ship glided forward, quiet as a shadow, passing the disabled fleet like they were nothing more than dust in the air. Once it vanished into the deeper region of the Forbidden Zone, all Empire systems suddenly came back online. Power returned. Lights flickered. Engines roared. But one thing remained inside every soldier. Fear. Because in that moment, they all understood the same truth. If this one ship could do that, what were humans really hiding? And deeper inside the Forbidden Zone, the unknown human ship continued forward. Slow, calm, and unstoppable, toward something only it knew. The human warship moved deeper into the Forbidden Zone, silent and unshaken by the Empire's defenses. Its black hull reflected no light, no heat, no signal, like a ghost sliding through the stars. To the outside world, it looked empty. But inside, someone watched everything with sharp, steady eyes. Her name was Captain Mira Holt. She stood alone on the control bridge, her hands resting calmly behind her back as she looked at the massive holographic display in front of her. She was tall, focused, and carried an air of quiet strength. Her dark hair was tied sharply behind her head, and her uniform was unlike any known human design. The ship she commanded, TNS Blackstar, was humanity's most secret creation, and Mira was the only person who knew its true purpose. Behind her, the lights on the bridge glowed a faint blue, matching the pulse of the ship as it cut through space. Every screen, every panel, every system responded to her command with perfect precision. This ship was not only powerful, it was loyal. It was ready. Status? Mira asked, her voice steady. A soft reply came from the navigation station. We passed the first Imperial line, Captain. No further interception detected. Mira nodded. She already knew this. She had felt the moment the Empire ships lost power. Blackstar systems reacted before the enemy could even blink. She walked toward the central console and placed her hand on a smooth metal plate. At once, a bright white hologram formed above it, an image of a glowing crystal-like cube. It rotated slowly, pulsing with a warm, golden light. This was the reason she had come all this way. The Prime Core. 200 years ago, long before Mira was born, humanity was attacked by an unknown enemy. That enemy stole the Prime Core, Earth's ancient power source, older than human history itself. Without it, humanity had survived, but barely. Their technology slowed, their progress weakened. But the old record said something else. The Prime Core was not just a power source. It was a key to something far greater, hidden deep in the galaxy. And the Empire had taken it. Mira had spent her whole life studying the core, hunting its signals, following every trace. For most humans, it was just a legend. But for Mira, it was a responsibility, a mission passed down to her by the last member of the Core Research Council, her father. You will find it one day, he had told her before he died. And when you do, the galaxy will change. She breathed slowly, staring at the hologram. The moment is close, she whispered to herself. The navigation officer, Lieutenant Reyes, looked up. Captain, do you believe the Empire knew what they took from us? Mira turned toward him. If they knew everything, they would have destroyed it. Instead, they hid it. That means they feared it. Or someone inside their ranks wanted it for themselves. Reyes nodded, understanding. The Empire was powerful, but power came with corruption. Someone could easily use the core for their own rise. Mira stepped closer to the front screen. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly. The Forbidden Zone was strangely still. Too still. It's quiet, Reyes said softly. Too quiet, Mira agreed. The Empire won't give up. They'll send someone stronger next time. And she was right. Far behind Blackstar, hidden in a cluster of dead stars, an Imperial tracking probe blinked to life. It had no weapons, no engine, just one purpose: to follow the intruder silently. It watched Mira's ship, sent data, and vanished again into the darkness. The Empire wanted to know everything. On the Empire's homeworld, the Council gathered once again. Their screens displayed the human warship's path. "It moves like it knows this place," one counselor said. "Impossible. No human has maps of the Forbidden Zone." "Then how does the ship navigate without fear?" No one had answers. But the Emperor leaned forward, narrowing his eyes. "That ship has a mission," he said. "We must discover what it seeks." And in the shadows of the hall, someone else listened quietly. Someone whose plans depended on the Prime Core staying hidden. Someone who would kill anyone who got too close. Back inside the Black Star, Mira studied the star map. She traced a line toward the center of the Forbidden Zone. "Captain," Reyes said suddenly, "there is a structure ahead. Very large. Very old. Not Imperial." Mira's heart tightened. "Show me." The screen zoomed in and revealed a massive ring-shaped object, partially covered in cosmic dust. It was thousands of years old, older than the Empire itself. Strange symbols glowed along its outer surface, symbols Mira recognized. Her father had shown her the same markings. "It can't be," she whispered. Reyes swallowed. "Captain, is that connected to the Prime Core?" "Yes," Mira said. "And the Empire never told anyone about it." For the first time, fear touched her heart. "Prepare for approach," she said. Reyes hesitated. "Captain, if the Empire hid this, maybe they hid guards too." Mira's eyes sharpened. "They can hide everything, except the truth. And I'm not leaving without the core." The Black Star moved toward the ancient ring, entering its shadow. Behind them, far away, the Imperial probe sent a final message. "The human ship has found the relic." The Empire would react soon. Very soon. But Mira did not turn back. She had come for the Prime Core. And nothing in the galaxy, not the Empire, not ancient secrets, not even death, would stop her. While Captain Mira Holt and the Black Star moved deeper into the Forbidden Zone, the entire Xyrdon Empire trembled. The First Fleet's failure spread from ship to ship, base to base, world to world. Soldiers whispered in silence. Officers hid their fear behind stiff faces. Everyone asked the same question. How did one human ship defeat an Imperial fleet without firing a single shot? Inside the Grand Imperial Hall, the Empire's highest leaders gathered. The hall was shaped like a giant circle, with a glowing map of the galaxy beneath their feet. Massive pillars rose high into the darkness, carved with the victories of past emperors. But today, the air was heavy. No one felt like celebrating past glory. Councillor Wren, a tall reptilian figure with sharp silver eyes, slammed his fist on the table. "This is humiliation. A human ship enters our sacred territory, and 12 Imperial warships lose power like toys." "It wasn't damage," another councillor replied. "Their systems were switched off. Instantly." "That's worse," Wren shouted. "It means the intruder has technology beyond our understanding." Murmurs filled the hall. Some councillors blamed the fleet. Some blamed humans. Some blamed unknown forces. But one voice rose above them all. The Emperor. He stepped forward, wearing dark armor that shimmered with golden veins. His presence alone made the hall fall silent. His eyes were cold and sharp as he looked at the hologram of the Black Star. "It is not the ship that concerns me," he said slowly. "It is the intention. Humans have never challenged us, never crossed our borders, never entered this zone." Councillor Vark nodded. "So why now? Why risk war?" The Emperor folded his hands behind his back. "Because they want something that lies inside." The room froze. The Forbidden Zone was not just protected for pride. It hid ancient secrets, old structures, old weapons, and one thing so powerful that the Empire kept its existence hidden from even its own people. "We must assume," the Emperor continued, "that the human ship is here for the relic." Whispers exploded instantly. "The relic cannot be discovered. If they take it, if they activate it." The Emperor raised a hand. Silence returned. "We will not allow a single human captain to challenge the Empire." He turned toward the war table and placed his palm on the glowing surface. A new hologram appeared. Tall, broad-shouldered, armored like a living mountain. Admiral Kale Voss. The room stiffened. Voss was not just a commander. He was the Empire's strongest warrior, feared across multiple galaxies. He had ended rebellions, destroyed fleets, and crushed entire armies. His reputation alone made enemies surrender. And he had been silent for years, stationed deep inside the Imperial core. No one expected the Emperor to summon him today. But the Emperor's voice was firm. Bring Admiral Voss to the Council. Only he can stop the intruder. Hours later, the heavy steel doors opened. Admiral Voss entered, each step echoing like distant thunder. His armor was dark gray with edges sharp enough to cut stone. A long scar ran across his cheek, a mark from a war no one dared to mention. He stopped before the Emperor and bowed lightly. You called me my Emperor. The Emperor nodded. A human ship has entered the Forbidden Zone. Your mission is clear. Intercept it, disable it, and bring me the captain alive. Voss raised a brow. Human? Alone? Yes, the Emperor replied. And this one ship disabled 12 of ours. Voss's eyes narrowed. Then either our crews grew weak, or the human ship is exceptional. Whichever it is, the Emperor said coldly, you will find out. The hall darkened as the Black Star's image grew large behind them. This vessel is unlike any ship we have encountered, Counselor Wren added. It moves silently, avoids our scans, and manipulates energy in ways we do not understand. Voss studied the hologram for a long moment. Then he spoke. Send me everything you know about its movements. We already have, Wren said. But, Admiral, the ship did something we cannot explain. Voss lifted his head. Speak. It shut down our entire fleet. Instantly. Without attacking. Voss's jaw clenched. He hated dishonor. He hated weakness. And this sounded like both. Then I will restore our honor, he said darkly. I will face this ship myself. The Emperor stepped forward. Admiral Voss listened carefully. This is not a simple enemy. The human ship is moving toward the relic. If the humans take it, the balance of the galaxy will shift. Voss looked up sharply. Do they know what it is? Maybe, the Emperor said. Or maybe someone is guiding them. The Admiral frowned. Someone inside the Empire? The Emperor did not answer. His silence was enough. Voss bowed again. I will leave within the hour. As the Admiral turned to leave, Wren whispered to another counselor. If Voss fails, the Empire is finished. The other counselor shook his head. Voss does not fail. But deep in the shadows of the hall, hidden behind tall pillars, a cloaked figure watched quietly. His eyes glowed faint red as the hologram of the Black Star faded. He whispered to himself. So the humans found the path, earlier than expected. No matter. The relic will soon awaken. He slipped away into the darkness, unseen by all. Meanwhile, far inside the Forbidden Zone, Captain Mira Holt studied the ancient structure ahead of her ship. She did not know the Empire's strongest warrior had been unleashed. She did not know a powerful enemy within the Empire wanted her dead. She only knew one thing. She was getting closer. The ancient ring-shaped structure grew larger on the Black Star's main screen. Its surface was covered in dust, cracks, and glowing symbols that shifted slowly like living light. Captain Mira Holt stood at the front of the bridge, her eyes fixed on it. The air felt colder, heavier, as if the structure itself was watching her approach. Lieutenant Reyes checked the readings again. Captain, this place has no Imperial signal. No defense grid. Nothing. It's like the Empire avoids it. Mira nodded softly. They fear what they do not understand. She stared at the ring, remembering her father's words. One day, you will find the gateway. She didn't know if this was that gateway, but her instincts whispered yes. Bring us closer, she ordered. The Black Star drifted forward, silent as a shadow. But far behind them, something massive was moving too. In the dark space beyond the Forbidden Zone, a giant Imperial dreadnought burned through the void. Its hull was black metal, heavy armor, and red lights pulsing like a beating heart. Admiral Kale Voss stood on its bridge, surrounded by officers who watched him carefully. He stared at the holographic map showing Blackstar's location. "Distance?" he asked. 2 hours until visual range, the officer replied. Voss folded his arms. "Increase speed. I want this human captain caught before she reaches the relic." The officer hesitated. "Sir, the relic area is unstable." Voss's glare cut him off. "If the relic is unstable, then the human ship must not touch it." He turned to the tactical officer. "Prepare my full strike fleet." "Yes, Admiral. Over 200 ships are ready." Voss nodded. "Good. Today, we show the galaxy that no human can challenge the Empire." But deep inside, Voss felt something he never admitted to anyone. Curiosity. Something about this human ship bothered him. Something powerful, determined, dangerous. He wanted to meet the captain and crush her mission with his own hands. Back near the ancient ring, the Blackstar's lights flickered slightly as it passed the first outer boundary. A low hum vibrated through the ship, as if something inside the ring was waking. Reyes frowned. "Captain, the structure is reacting to us." Mira stepped closer. "Good. That means we're getting close." But before she could say more, "Captain!" Reyes shouted. "Multiple warp signatures behind us. Very fast." Mira's eyes narrowed. "Show me." The screen zoomed out. And then, the bridge fell silent. A gigantic fleet was racing toward them. Hundreds of ships. All Imperial. All armed. And in the center of the formation was a dreadnought so big it took up the entire screen. Reyes whispered, "That must be Admiral Voss." Mira felt her heartbeat slow. Not from fear, but focus. "He came faster than expected." "Captain," Reyes said, "his fleet is locking weapons." "I know." Mira stepped forward calmly, her face hardening. She had expected this moment. The Empire would not stand aside. And Admiral Voss was not known for mercy. The Blackstar drifted away from the ancient ring and turned slowly to face the oncoming storm. Reyes swallowed. "What are your orders?" Mira spoke quietly, but every word carried steel. "Prepare for contact." The Imperial fleet spread into a huge circle around the Blackstar. Their engines glowed blood red. Their weapons hummed with killing power. The dreadnought floated silently at the center. On Voss's ship, the communications officer nodded. "Channel open, sir." Voss stepped forward, his voice deep and cold. "Human vessel. You are violating sacred Imperial space. Power down your engines and surrender immediately." The message echoed inside the Blackstar's bridge. Reyes looked at Mira. "Captain." Mira stayed silent for a moment, then raised her chin and answered calmly. "No." The answer traveled through space like a spark falling into oil. On the Imperial bridge, every officer flinched. Voss's jaw tightened. "Human, I will say this only once. Surrender. Now." Mira replied, "I am not here for war. I am here for something the Empire stole from my people." Voss frowned. "You enter forbidden territory, disable our fleet, and threaten our honor. You claim peace, but your actions speak otherwise." Mira's voice remained steady. "I disabled your ships without hurting anyone. That was mercy. Do not force me to show less." The bridge of Voss's dreadnought erupted into whispers. She was not afraid of him. She was challenging him openly. Voss lifted his hand. "All ships," he commanded, "prepare to fire." Inside the Blackstar, Mira didn't flinch. "Reyes," she said softly, "activate the pulse barrier." Reyes hesitated. "Captain, if we activate it, the entire fleet." "I know," she said. "Do it." Reyes pressed the command. At that exact second, Voss's hand dropped. Fire! Hundreds of Imperial ships released a storm of blazing energy toward the Blackstar. But before it reached them, a shockwave burst from the human ship. A bright, silent pulse expanded like a sphere of light, and every Imperial weapon vanished. The fleet's engines died. Their shields collapsed. Their power drained in a heartbeat. Ships drifted helplessly, lights flickering weakly. Admiral Voss's bridge went dark. His officers panicked. "What is happening?" "We lost all systems." Admiral, we can't move. Voss's jaw clenched, his eyes burning. He stared at the Black Star, unharmed, glowing softly. Mira's voice echoed inside his powerless ship. I will not fight you, but I will not stop. If you stand in my way again, I will end this differently. The message ended. The Black Star turned away and slipped back toward the ancient ring. Admiral Voss watched helplessly, fury boiling inside him. For the first time in his life, he had been defeated without a battle. The Black Star slipped back toward the massive ring-shaped structure, leaving the silent Imperial fleet frozen behind. The moment Mira had disabled them, she knew she had bought only a little time. Admiral Voss would recover soon, and when he did, he would return with more strength, more rage, and no hesitation. But Mira pushed those thoughts aside. Something far more important stood before her now. The ancient ring. It was huge, so large it could swallow a moon. Strange lights crawled along its surface like living threads. Dust floated around it in slow clouds, giving the feeling that time itself moved differently here. Lieutenant Reyes swallowed hard. Captain, this place feels wrong. Mira didn't answer. She stepped forward, staring at the markings across the structure. She recognized them. Her father had shown her the same shapes, carved on the walls of old sites on Earth, drawn on ancient maps, hidden in old ruins. This is the same language, she whispered. The language the Corps responded to. Reyes blinked. Captain, you really think the Prime Corps is here? Mira turned toward him, eyes sharp. I know it is. The Black Star approached a dark opening on the side of the ring. It looked like a crack, but perfectly shaped, as if something once slid in and out. A docking slot. Reyes, match our position. Yes, Captain. The ship glided into the shadow. Lights flickered around them. The deeper they went, the colder the air felt. Inside the ring, a giant corridor stretched endlessly, filled with floating dust and metallic pillars shaped like twisted bones. The walls pulsed with faint golden light. The Empire never built this, Reyes whispered. No, Mira said. This place is far older. Older than the Empire. Older than Earth's recorded history. Older than every known civilization. The structure suddenly shook. Reyes grabbed a console. What was that? Mira narrowed her eyes. Something woke up. And she was right. From the deep shadows, enormous symbols on the walls lit up, one by one, creating a rippling wave of gold that traveled through the corridor. A voice filled the chamber. Not words. Not language. Just a vibration. Like something ancient trying to remember itself. Reyes stiffened. Captain, the ship is detecting energy ahead. Very strong. Same signature as the Prime Corps, Mira finished. Take us closer. The corridor opened into a massive chamber shaped like a sphere. In the center, held by invisible force, floated a glowing cube. Golden light pulsed through it, as if it contained a living star. Mira stepped forward slowly. Her heart raced. After 200 years, humanity's greatest treasure, Earth's lost power source. It was here, and it was awake. Reyes breathed. Captain, that's it. That's truly it. Mira stared at it with a mixture of awe and fear. The Prime Corps. Her father's last message echoed in her head. If the core is taken, the galaxy will not remain silent. She understood now. The Empire had not just stolen it. They had hidden it to protect themselves. Reyes, she said quietly, scan deeper. What is around the core? Reyes's hands shook as he worked. The results appeared on the screen. His face went pale. Captain, there's something else here. Something big. Under the chamber. I think the core powers it. Mira's breathing slowed. What is it? She asked. Reyes swallowed hard. A weapon. The chamber felt colder. A weapon. Mira repeated. Yes, Reyes said. And not a normal one. It is huge, ancient, and unfinished. If the core wakes it fully, it could destroy star systems. Mira stared at the glowing cube with new fear. Is that why the Empire hid it? She asked. Reyes nodded shakily. Yes. They didn't know how to control the weapon. So they hid the core inside the Forbidden Zone and locked everything away. Mira moved closer to the core. It pulsed brighter as if recognizing her. Her voice dropped. Then why is it waking now? Reyes's hands trembled. Because, Captain, someone is trying to activate it. Mira spun around. Who? Reyes pointed at the data. Look at the energy readings. These signals are not from the core. They're from above, connected to an imperial frequency. Mira's eyes hardened. Someone inside the Empire wanted the weapon active. Someone powerful. Someone hidden. Someone who needed the core. This wasn't the Empire's fear, Mira said. This was a plan. Reyes stared. But who would risk destroying the galaxy? Mira didn't answer. Because suddenly, the chamber shook violently. The lights on the walls turned red. The core pulsed fast, like a beating heart in panic. Reyes shouted, Captain! Someone is forcing an activation sequence. The weapon below began to hum. The entire ring vibrated. Mira pressed her hand to the console. Shut it down. I'm trying. But the override is blocked. From outside, someone is controlling this remotely. Mira looked at the core again. Its glow shifted, like it was in pain. We need to take the core, she said firmly. It's the only way to stop this. Reyes hesitated. Captain, removing it might collapse the entire structure. Then we move fast, Mira replied. If the weapon finishes activating, millions will die. She reached toward the core. Suddenly, the communication panel lit up. An imperial voice filled the chamber. Human Captain, step away from the relic. Mira froze. She knew that voice. Admiral Voss had returned. And he was not alone. He had brought the Empire's full wrath with him. The chamber trembled as Admiral Voss's cold voice echoed through every speaker. Human Captain, step away from the relic. Mira didn't turn. Her eyes stayed locked on the glowing prime core. Reyes whispered, terrified. Captain, we're trapped. No, Mira said quietly. Not yet. The core pulsed again, faster than before, reacting to the rising danger. Another voice joined the channel, one Mira did not expect. Captain Mira Solis. You have violated restricted Imperial territory. Surrender at once. It was High Executor Saran, one of the Empire's most powerful officials. If he was here, then this was bigger than Mira imagined. Reyes stared at the screen. 2 dreadnoughts, 3 cruisers. Captain, they sent half a battle group. Mira's fists tightened. They weren't here to arrest her. They were here to finish activating the ancient weapon. Up above, hidden outside the ring, the Imperial fleet opened formation like a metallic flower. The dreadnoughts moved into firing position, forming a blockade around the massive ancient structure. Inside the chamber, the red lights brightened. The entire ring moaned like something alive and in pain. Reyes pressed buttons frantically. Captain, the activation is accelerating. Whoever is controlling it is forcing the core to overload. Mira finally spoke into the open comm. Voss, stop this. You know the weapon could destroy everything. Admiral Voss answered without emotion. This weapon will end the rebellion in one strike. We will finally bring order to the galaxy. Mira felt rage rising. You don't understand the technology. You can't control it. A different voice broke in. Smooth, calm, frighteningly confident. High Executor Saran. We do not need to control it, Captain. Only aim it. Mira's blood ran cold. They weren't ignorant. They knew exactly what they were doing. And they didn't care about the consequences. Reyes, she said. Prepare extraction protocols for the core. Reyes hesitated. Captain, taking the core could destabilize this entire place. It might collapse around us. We don't have a choice, Mira said. If they fire that weapon, entire star systems will vanish. Reyes nodded with shaking hands. Beginning extraction sequence. The cube of golden light brightened, so bright it filled the chamber like a miniature sun. Strange symbols swirled around it in the air, floating free like glowing dust. Mira stepped forward. A soft hum vibrated through the floor. Reyes shouted, "Captain, the core is scanning you." "I know," Mira whispered. "It remembers those symbols. From Earth. Her father's research. His secret messages. The language of the ancients." She slowly pressed her hand toward the core. The moment her fingers touched the light, a shockwave rippled outward. Boom! Reyes fell to the floor. The chamber lights flickered. Gold lines spread across Mira's arm, glowing markings matching those on the walls. Reyes gasped, "Captain, it's synchronizing with you." Mira grit her teeth. "Then we're doing this right." The core rose higher, glowing even brighter. But outside, Voss had seen enough. "Fire!" Admiral Voss gave the order. Outside the ring, beams of blue energy shot toward the structure. The blasts hit the outer shell. Boom! The entire ring shuddered violently. Cracks rippled across the chamber walls. Reyes shouted, "They're trying to blow the ring apart. They want to force the core out." Mira clenched her teeth. "They'll destroy us all." Another blast shook the chamber. Metal screamed. Dust rained from above. The platform beneath the core cracked open. Reyes screamed, "Captain, if they keep shooting." "I know." She grabbed the core. Or tried to. Her hands passed through light and heat. The core wasn't solid. It was pure energy. But it reacted to her touch. Golden lines wrapped around her hands like living threads. "Captain," Reyes breathed, awe in his voice. "It's bonding with you." Mira felt a deep voice in her mind. Old, echoing, distant. Not words, but intention. Recognition. Connection. The core was choosing her. And the moment it did, the weapon below roared awake. Boom! A pulse of energy surged through the entire ring. Symbols lit up across the chamber walls in spiraling patterns. Reyes stared at the sensors. "Captain, the weapon is charging. It's charging at impossible speed." Mira shouted into comms, "Voss, stop firing. You're accelerating the activation." But Voss only replied, "Good." Mira froze. He wanted it active. High Executor Saran's voice followed. "Do not resist, Captain. The galaxy will kneel, and you will watch it happen." Mira's anger snapped. "Over my dead body." She gripped the glowing core and pulled. Light exploded across the chamber. Reyes shielded his eyes. "Captain!" The core tore free from its cradle. The floor split apart. The ring shrieked, a deep, metallic howl. The entire structure started collapsing. Reyes stumbled to the controls. "The whole place is coming down. Captain, we have to run." Mira held the core tight against her chest. It felt weightless, yet powerful enough to shake her bones. "Run to the Black Star," she yelled. They sprinted as the chamber collapsed behind them. Columns shattered. Bridges fell away. Flames burst from the walls. A final message crackled through the comm. "Captain Mira Solis, you have made your last mistake. Admiral Voss." Another explosion rocked the corridor. The Empire was closing in, and Mira was running out of time. Fire roared through the collapsing ancient ring as Mira and Reyes sprinted down the shaking corridor. The golden core in Mira's arms pulsed like a living heart, growing hotter with every second. "Captain!" Reyes shouted, ducking falling debris. "The exits are closing. Keep running." Mira yelled back. A massive beam crashed down behind them, sealing the corridor with a deafening blast. The floor shook like an earthquake. The old weapon buried beneath the ring was waking up, angry and uncontrollable. The Black Star waited at the far end of the chamber, its engines glowing weakly through smoke and dust. Mira could hear the ship's alarms roaring even from outside. "Almost there," she shouted. But then, a new sound filled the air. The cold hum of Imperial armor. From the smoke ahead, Admiral Voss himself stepped out, flanked by armored guards. His dark cape floated behind him, glowing with static energy. His single cybernetic eye flashed as it focused on the golden core in Mira's hands. "Give it to me," Voss said, voice calm, steady, deadly. Reyes raised his weapon, shaking. "Admiral, the weapon is unstable. If you take the core..." Voss cut him off with a raised hand. I do not need your warnings. I need the core. Humanity has no place in controlling ancient power. Mira stepped forward carefully. If you take this, you will doom entire star systems. This thing wasn't made for war. It is made for dominance, Voss replied. Exactly why it belongs to the Empire. The walls cracked again. Light exploded through the fractures. The weapon beneath them screamed like a dying engine. Reyes whispered, Captain, the whole place is going to blow. Mira slowly lifted the core. Its golden lines wrapped up her arms, glowing brighter with every breath she took. You can't win, Voss, she said quietly. Not today. Voss lifted his arm. Then I will die winning. Voss moved with terrifying speed. He charged forward, energy crackling around his gauntlet. Mira barely dodged as the Admiral punched the floor, sending a shockwave through the collapsing corridor. Reyes fired back, forcing the guards into cover. Mira turned and ran toward the Black Star. The core pulled at her, humming louder, almost guiding her. Reyes! She shouted. But Reyes wasn't running. He stood between Mira and Voss, firing until the very last second. Go, Captain! Voss struck him with a blast of energy. Reyes flew back, hitting the wall with a thud. Reyes! Mira screamed. He didn't answer. Voss looked up at her, expression cold as ice. One obstacle removed. Mira's heart pounded. Tears blurred her vision. She lifted the core higher, anger mixing with something deeper, a connection she couldn't explain. The core pulsed, as if hearing her emotions. Golden light spread across her armor. Voss froze, eyes widening. What is it doing? Mira didn't know, but she felt it. The core wasn't a weapon. It was alive, and it trusted her. The ground split open beneath Voss. He stumbled, losing balance. Mira used the moment. She ran. The core's energy shielded her as fire exploded behind her. She dashed through falling debris, stumbling onto the Black Star's ramp. She slammed her hand onto the control panel. Black Star, take off. The ship responded instantly, engine screaming as Mira dragged Rhea's limp body inside. But Voss wasn't done. He leaped across the collapsing chamber, his boots glowing as he flew toward the ship like a missile. He landed on the ramp. Mira stumbled as the entire ship shook from the impact. Voss grabbed the ramp with one hand. His armor sparked. His red eye glowed like burning metal. This is not over, he roared. Mira held the core close, anger burning through her. It ends now. She slammed her fist into the ramp release. The ramp detached. Voss slipped. He fell into the collapsing abyss just as the ancient weapon below reached critical overload. The last thing Mira saw before the ramp sealed was Voss's glowing eye disappearing into the smoke. The Black Star blasted forward, escaping the ring as the entire structure folded inward. A massive explosion shook space itself, a blinding flash, then a shockwave rolling across the void like a tidal wave. Mira shielded the core with her body. The Black Star shook, alarm screaming. And then, silence. Space settled. The ring was gone. The ancient weapon, destroyed. Mira sat against the wall, breathing hard. Reyes lay beside her, wounded but alive. His chest rose slowly. She placed a hand on his shoulder. We made it, she whispered. He didn't wake, but Mira knew he heard her. The core floated out of Mira's hands and hovered in front of her. Symbols formed in the air, clearer, sharper than before. A message. A warning. Mira stared as the golden symbols rearranged into one single meaning. It is awake. She swallowed. What is awake? The core pulsed once. The Black Star sensors flashed with a new signal. Something far away. Something massive. Something older than the Empire itself. Mira whispered, Another weapon? The core pulsed again. This time, the meaning was terrifyingly clear. Not a weapon. A mind. Mira stared into the stars, feeling the chill of a new enemy rising. The Empire was shaken. Humanity was now a threat. But far beyond them. Something ancient was returning, and it had finally opened its eyes.